Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. One of the things that we learned over this past year is that if we can't get together in person, we could get together remotely. And it actually gives us the opportunity to do things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do there. My family is here from New York and Pennsylvania, and I have dear friends from all over the country and family from all over the country that we would not be able to get together in real life. Certainly not for half an hour. So thank you very, very much. It means a lot to us all. So I have a few words, a short Dvar Torah, and Ari has put together a slideshow that we can share, and I think Malki has something that she'd like to say as well. I guess in that order? No. First I'll speak, then Malki, and then we'll do the slideshow. And then after the slideshow, people can share their thoughts and like Sina already started, things that they learned from my father or anything else. Anyway, thank you very, very much for being here. So this coming week is Shabbat HaChodesh, which celebrates Rosh Chodesh Nisan. It's one of the Rosh Hashanahs that we have in our calendar. As you've probably heard, there's a Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah that says that there are 4 New Years. First of Nisan, which is coming up, first of Tishrei, first of Elul, and Tu B'Shvat. So first of Tishrei, everybody knows because we make a very big deal about it. And that's how we count our years, this being 5781, Tafshin Pei Aleph. But then we also know that the months are counting from Nisan. So our Rosh Hashanah is the first of the 7th month. And the first of the first is actually next Sunday. Now, the first of the first doesn't have its own Chag, so we forget about it. And it's overshadowed by Pesach. Imagine if we had to have another 2-day Chag right before Pesach, like we do right before Sukkot. But we don't. They spared us. So we see when it comes to when do our years start, it's not so simple. If our year starts in the 7th month, what does that even mean? Of course, the very question of when a year starts is kind of silly if you think about it. The year is a circle, one rotation around the sun. It doesn't have a beginning or an end. It keeps going and going. Like the song in Rehov Sumsum, the seasons are like a circle. Yeah, those who know that. Anyway, you can pick any day and call it the beginning. Like the Western world picks the darkest time of the year. It's dark, they pick a day, things only get better from there, presumably. Your birthday is a new year of sorts. Why not? I wish people have a wonderful year and their year begins on March 3rd, let's say. And we like to say that Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of the world. Hayom Harat Olam. That's why we start there, right? Well, there's a machloket, there's a difference of opinion. Rabbi Eliezer versus Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Eliezer said the world was created in Tishrei. But Rabbi Yeshua said the world was created in Nisan. That would be now. And it's not like this machloket is resolved. It's, even the halacha is not clear. If you recall, Birkat HaChama, which is a special blessing we say every 28 years on the sun. The last time we did this was in 2009. It's in Nisan, not in Tishrei. So according to that, we say the blessing according to the opinion of Rabbi Yeshua that the world was created in Nisan. Not only that, but the machloket, this difference of opinion between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua keeps going. You know how we often hear this time of the year in Nisan, in Nisan the redemption is coming. Well, but that is the opinion of Rabbi Yeshua, not Rabbi Eliezer. Not the one who said that the world was created in Tishrei. Because he says, in Nisan they were redeemed, in Tishrei we will be redeemed. And he has proof for it. On that day, the great shofar will be blown. We say that about the redemption, and great shofar is blown in Tishrei for Rosh Hashanah, so clearly we'll be redeemed in Tishrei. But Rabbi Yeshua, who said that the world was created in Nisan, also says the following. In Nisan they were redeemed, and in Nisan we will be redeemed. As it says, a night of keeping, a night that was kept back from the 6 days of creation. But what does it all matter if the seasons are like a circle anyway? I was reading a book recently, just a novel, And it was describing the passing of the seasons in the rural community. And it was waxing poetic about how in touch they were with each change. And then the author pointed out something that I hadn't thought of before. They said, and because these cycles keep repeating, nothing ever changed. So they have a circle of seasons and the circle of life. They ended up in the same place every time, and they could never escape it. Now, I found this quite shocking because we don't think like that. We don't think of the circle, the circle of the calendar and the changing of the seasons as meaning that nothing will ever change and nothing will ever get better. And we're kind of doing Sukkot when we read Kohelet, where it says, Dor holech v'dor ba va'aretz olam onedet, generation passes, generation comes, and the earth stands in its place, which is plenty depressing. But for us, it's only part of the story. The more important part is that the world has a beginning. That, by the way, is the only real proof that Rabbi Yoshua brings for his opinion that Nisan is the season of Geulah. He says that it's reserved from the 6 days of creation. The world is not eternal, therefore the world can change, and it has a potential for Geulah, a potential for redemption. Now, whether that happens in Tishrei like Rabbi Eliezer or Nisan like Rabbi Yoshua, the point is that our lives are not stuck forever in the same rut again and again. It's a spiral, it's not a circle. So last year, my father's Askara, I believe it was one of the first Zoom meetings of the shul, if I'm not mistaken. I spoke about my father's philosophy of one day at a time, how to deal with the unpredictable. I must say, it truly helped me this past year, narrowing my focus to just a few days, at most a week ahead. And we've survived that. But we cannot live our lives like that forever. It can't be the only tool in our kit, because people who believe that nothing ever changes have no incentive to change anything ever. And that's not us, that's not the Jewish people, and that wasn't my father. He disliked change, and when something was good, he would stick to it long after others would give up. He and my mother had the opportunity to take a vacation in Niagara Falls, and then for the next 10 years, they went to Niagara Falls. He saw that we liked fruit compote, so he made fruit compote every week. But when something needed to be changed, when he needed to show up for Geulah, for redemption, he left everything he knew, and he walked out into a world that he knew nothing about, seeking new beginnings, for us really, because beginnings are possible. So, Baruch Hashem, we're now entering a season of new beginnings. We see Geulah, a form of redemption on the horizon, the ability to rebuild our lives, perhaps to be able to look ahead beyond a day or a week at a time. On a personal level also, as you probably heard, Dedushka has a new great-grandson who will be entering the Brit of Avraham Avinu Bezrat Hashem on Wednesday. Generation passes and generation comes, but no, the world does not stand still, because this is a new year and a time of Geulah. Happy New Year. Okay. So, Malki, your turn.
Right. So you would think that by now I would learn to not follow Kira, but just as in general, right? Yeah, in general. But I have not. So here we are. And what I wanted to talk about was a mitzvah that comes up in this week's parsha. It's going to be Vayakel Pekudei. They're going to be smushed together one after the other, but particularly in Vayakel, which is that Moshe has given Am Yisrael the instructions of what needs to happen for the Beit HaMikdash. And listen, I don't know what life was like. And I think that it was fairly monotonous. You pick your man in the morning, you eat your man, I can't imagine life in the Midbar, honestly. But I'm guessing it was fairly monotonous. And this exciting thing happens, right? We're going to build the Mishkan. Like, how amazing is that, right? And people really, really get into it, and they get into the mitzvah of it. And we know about B'Tzalel, we know about the craftsmen, but there were things that everyday ordinary people were able to contribute. They were able to anybody who was a craftsman, anybody who knew how to make hooks, women who were particularly good at weaving, anybody with that amount of skill who's just an ordinary everyday person could contribute. And then even if you weren't a particularly skilled person, if you had something that they needed or something that could be traded even, you could bring it and donate it to the Mishkan. And there are the people who are in charge of building it, Bezalel, his crew, and every single day, men and women are coming and they're bringing gold, and they're bringing copper, and they're bringing fine woolens, and they're bringing, oh, another little hook, hey, I just made this yesterday, and they're bringing and they're bringing and they're bringing and they're bringing. And the craftspeople are inundated. In fact, it might even be a better use of the word flooded. They are flooded because there's a word that comes up that actually relates back to Parshat Noach. So they're flooded with materials, and people want to give. Am Yisrael, I think it's a midah of Am Yisrael to want to give. Until the craftsman came to Moshe and said, we're overwhelmed. We can't handle this anymore. We have more than enough. We can't do this anymore. We have to get to work. And we, just sorting through the piles, we're overwhelmed. We need this to stop. So Moshe puts out a call saying, okay, guys, we're done. Everything is good. And this very much reminds me of my dad, because my dad loved to give. More than anything, though, it wasn't always something material. What my dad gave was something even more ephemeral. My dad gave a listening ear. My dad gave time. My dad gave almost infinite amounts of patience. And my dad gave kindness. And I think that when it comes to the material, you can really, really, really get overwhelmed. There's a certain amount of, the Jewish mother who always brings more and more and more food. And I'm Russian, like this is a thing about Russian Jews in particular. We don't believe that you've eaten. We don't believe that you can be full, and we don't believe that you've been fed. We want to do it, and we want to give up until the point at which you are begging us to stop, and even then we don't believe you. But so giving the material, there's a point at which you need to say, thank you so much, Am Yisrael, thank you so much for everything, but please stop. But then there are other things where there's always room for a little bit more, and there's always room for a little bit more kindness, and there's always room for a little bit more listening, and there's always room for a little bit more of helping another person. And that very much personified my dad.
And that's a perfect segue to the, first of all, excellent, thank you. And that's a perfect segue for the screen, which I will try to do now. Can you all see?
He's been dead quite a while.
No, I think it's just.
What?
Hey, Kara, can you see us?
Yeah, 1 second, I'll try. Can I manage it? Yeah. Well, thank you, and now this is where we, open this up to people who want to speak. You can raise your hands. Actually, it's a feature on Zoom, but let's see what happens. Yisinka, can you say something? Wait, you'd have to unmute yourself first.
Unmute. Maybe not now.
Okay, I love you. Okay, so wait, hold on. Can I unmute all? Oh, okay. Sam?
I very much like to say a few words. I thank God have a few grandchildren now. And when I'm playing with the grandchildren, when I'm holding them, one in each hand and walking around them, I really think of Dedushka, and I really feel that I'm handling Dedushka, and I understand, his warmth with the children, his feeling with the children. The truth is that I also feel bad. I remember, not always being as nice as Dedushka. I remember one time in particular that he was taking Rami and Shia, and they were young, and they weren't supposed to nap. We were trying to train them to sleep.
To come back, please.
Both to sleep. I remember yelling at him, no, it's not their nap time and stuff. And the truth is that now that I'm a grandfather, I feel really bad about it. He only loved them. He only wanted to show them warmth and stuff. The only comfort that I take in that is that perhaps my children, when they're grandparents, will learn the same lesson. And thank you, Dedushka. V'hamevin yavin.
I'd like to say something.
Okay.
When we came home, I just had a baby on Wednesday. When we came home on Friday for just a few minutes to pack, I just had this overwhelming feeling. I told Benji, I really, really miss my Dedushka. I would just really, really love him to be here for this. And, the way the baby cuddles on you, it always reminds me of, Dedushka, the way he was him sitting there with his big belly with a baby cuddled on it. Preferably a newborn looking so squishy and cuddly. And it was just this overwhelming of, I really, really wish Dedushka could be here for this. He would love to see our grandchildren, and, Benji and him would have gotten on so well. And it's just, it's hard sometimes that, we remember him, and we'll try to pass on his attributes to our children.
I wanted to say that because of where we lived, me and my family, Diana and our kids, we had the privilege of walking home from shul almost every Shabbat morning with Peter. And it was a real privilege because he, as everyone here knows, is one of the most gracious, loving, open, soliciting, comforting people you could ever meet. And I treasured the time we had with him. And not only, but also because we didn't have any relatives here. And Peter was your Dedushka, but he was also our Dedushka. And we treated him like our grandfather, and we loved him like our grandfather, and we mourned him like our grandfather, and we respect him and cherish his memory like he was our grandfather. So thank you for sharing with us, and thank you for allowing us to continue to love him and cherish him.
Thank you, Sam. Nadir?
Yeah, so Sam, thank you for reminding me of something that was very integral to Dedushka. Because as much as he was my Dedushka, my grandfather, he was also like everyone, for all of us here, he was all of our Dedushka. Because he had more love to give than for just his family. He had love to give to literally everyone who crossed his path. When I'd walk down Achuza Street with him on a Friday when I'd help him shopping, would literally take a pause and step out to say hello to him, shake his hand, ask how he's doing, he'd ask how they're doing. And beyond that, years ago, when I was like 5 or 6 years old, when I'd go with him to pick up Kira's kids from school, and then he'd later take us to the little candy shop across. And then later on, more kids joined in and more kids joined in until he was taking out a substantial portion of the school. Because he just had that much love to give. And I really think that's what makes him so memorable to all of us. And why we can't help but be here today, remembering him all together. Because he really was the Dedushka to everyone.
Sina?
Yeah, as I started to say, Peter was just, you felt the warmth around him. He always had a smile, no matter what he was going through. I'm getting emotional here, I'm sorry. He reached out to people. He didn't just wait for people to be in his circle, all right? My kids loved him, all right? And as I started to say before, he had this plain wisdom that made so much sense. And one of the things he said was, spend as much time as you can with the little ones, all right? Doesn't matter which little ones, doesn't matter whose little ones, just spend as much time as you can with them, all right? There's such a joy in that. There's what you get from them. It's what you give to them, the memories. And as was said over here, when you see the kids coming back to you, remembering things that you did, when my 3-year-old granddaughter wants me to do, tells her mom, do something like Safta does it, okay? That's priceless. That's memories that you hope they'll have forever and ever. And he's missed.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Uncle Herb, Sylvia, could you unmute? Maybe you'd say something. I think I'll ask Matthew to help. Anybody else?
Barry's raising his hand.
Who?
Barry looks
Oh,
like
there's Barry. Yeah, you can
you
unmute
hear me?
yourself.
Because I'm having some internet trouble. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Don't see you, but we hear you.
I just wanted to say that your father always had a smile on his face, and he always seemed full of joy. That's what I got from your father. He always seemed joyous.
I didn't come. Hold on.
There, thank you. Oh, there's Uncle Herb.
So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Barry.
Hey, Kira, it's Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Were you able to hear my father?
Just now, no, but try again. He's unmuted.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
Should I
gonna
speak or
shut
not?
that. I'm going to give you this.
Should I
Look
speak?
at, hold on. Okay, talk
No.
right into, they
Okay.
can see.
Okay. The first time I met Peter, I don't know if you heard me, I was asked to meet with him by my brother-in-law, who technically was related to him. I was not at the time, and I met Kira and Malky and Nella and Peter.
They were
We
little
met-
pipsqueaks.
They were. We met in Jamaica, and they came to my house. Well, they may not have been blood relatives, but they became blood relatives immediately. They were wonderful. I still remember the first time. I'll never forget it. When I visited their house the first time, Peter was standing there. Who was playing? Was it Malky? Kira was playing. Right, you were, Kira, playing the piano, and the pages weren't all together. And Peter was there doing one page at a time to make sure we didn't miss a note. We didn't, and it was wonderful. And I can't, there's so many years have gone by since that time, and I still feel like I miss him. He may have not been blood relatives, but he was. And I hope things work out beautifully for the rest of the family. Beautiful family. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
I'll just say, we may know Kieran Malky longer than, oh, my mom's here. There you are. Than anyone else on the call. And it's really an honor to know them and for them to be family for us. So love to all. And he was a great man. So is Nella, great woman.
Wonderful. And mazel tov to all the beautiful children and the new baby. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's it.
Thank you so much.
Let others speak.
Hi, Kira, Malky, everyone else.
Hey, Josh.
Like several other members of Kinar David, I mean, I had the fondest of memories of your father. I can remember him like it was yesterday. He was always smiling. He was always encouraging. He was like joyous and happy to be there. And I think he was one of those rare people in life that you had to like, everybody had to like. There are not too many people like that, but I think your father was certainly one, and I have the warmest of memories. And well, look at the amazing family that he produced. Children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. So.
Can I say something? I just wanted to repeat what the rabbi said at your father's funeral. He said that Peter's grandparents were in the Russian army, and Peter's grandchildren are in the Israeli army.
Although not currently, thank God.
Well,
We're taking a little, we have a couple of years break. Oh wait, that's not technically true. Sorry, never mind. Shia is actually technically in the army. Natasha? No, not today.
I need to move far from Gisa. No, because we're next to each other. It's going to be echo. All right, guys. Okay, first of all, thank you for doing all this. Thank you for joining. It's amazing. It's amazing to see how much love he left after himself. Somehow this pain does not go away. Like Malky said, we all have pictures of our kids sleeping and petting shoulder. I have a picture of Ariella sleeping on his shoulder. Everybody gets a turn. I'm just very sad that the next generation didn't get the chance and didn't have this opportunity. And, but I think if we will pass to our kids, to our grandchildren, to Peter's great-grandchildren, how amazing he was. And I was just looking at those pictures, And I will give so much to be just one of them. I'm sorry. Just I need time machine if I can have it.
Yeah, sorry.
I try. I know me and Gisa, we try to be there as much as possible, especially Mama. She was there so many times, and there's so many pictures, so many memories. I think he was the best person by far that I knew, and that I'm honored to call my uncle, the best uncle in the world. And I miss him so much. I used to call him almost every day on the way to work, and we always had what to talk about. Pretty much like everything, from making soups, from talking about children, anything. And there's so much I still want to tell him now, and I can't. And I just wish I knew what he would say about stuff that's happening now. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I can't control myself, but I know he's there. I know he's here. I know he's in each of us. I know he's with us all the time. I feel him next to us a lot. And especially when there are simchas in Israel and when we come, it's like amazing feeling. It's like he's there. And me and Kira and Malki and Gisa, we always say, like, did you feel it? Did you feel it? I know he's there. And he gave so much to everyone, but most important, he gave so much love to everyone. And that's what he left after himself. Tremendous love. That's it. And Kirachka and Malki, thank you so much for arranging it. And thank you everyone for calling in.
Or would like to say something? Natasha, that was beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Or here you go.
Okay.
You go over there.
So there's this big regret that I have that I don't have really any memories of him because I was too young. I don't remember anything, but there's this one memory that I do remember, and it's the memory of us all going to the candy store, and I still remember exactly which candy store it is. I can tell you the way, and I will know the way. Although I don't have lots of memories of him, the little ones, literally the images that I have, that I know of him, that I remember him, although they are kind of fuzzy, but I still remember them, and I sometimes latch onto those memories in hopes that they never go away and I never forget them, because it's sometimes you forget things, and it's never fun to forget things that you really, really care about. And if you forget something that you do really care about and someone you care about, even if they're still not there, you still somehow, they're still in your heart. And Ima told me, what was it? That even though she's really sad that Dedushka isn't here, she's really glad that she doesn't have to worry about him through this entire Corona thing.
This is true. We have said this. It is the truth.
It's true. It's true.
I completely understand. I don't understand by
No,
experience.
it would have been very, yeah.
You would have had a very hard time with social distancing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not for him.
Yes.
Yes. But, yeah. But it really, like I said earlier, it really helped me to get through this time. Anybody else?
Just open mic?
Yeah, sure. Oh, wait, is that Elior?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm at school, so I have my headphones on.
We hear you.
Okay. Like what Nadeem said, he was everybody's Dedushka. He wasn't just your guys' Dedushka. And I think something that really showed that, I mean, I felt that he was especially my Dedushka. I know he was technically yours, but he was definitely mine. I mean, he would show up to every one of my birthday parties. Whose other Dedushka does that? Someone else with Dedushka doesn't show up to your birthday parties, doesn't yours. I really miss him.
I remember the first time Peter and Nella came to our home, the first time we met them. And I made, I think I made a turkey and potatoes. I'm not sure. My folks were there also. And I heard Nella say to Peter, bulbous, the word for potatoes. I think that was the cheapest thing you could serve. And I remember feeling very awkward about it, but it was wonderful to know them. We really missed them when they moved away. And we just have such fond memories of them. We remember them coming to our house for Thanksgiving. And originally, I think they may have come for Pesach until they became more religious.
Second Seder.
A Seder, oh. Yeah.
The second Seder.
Seder, oh, okay.
I have such fond memories of those Sedarim, and Sylvia. They impacted me my entire life.
True.
Well, it was just wonderful, and I'm so glad that they were here for us to meet them before they moved to Israel.
What?
Jay, you want to say something?
Yeah, sure. I'll say a few words. I'd like to echo on what Malki said, how Petya was always doing things for people. Doing. And I, like I'm sure all of our family, constantly ask myself, what would Petya do at this situation or that situation? And not only was he always doing stuff, I think he also had the wisdom to know when to let somebody be, when to back off. And I often am reminded by this beautiful girl when it's time to leave someone alone and just let them be. I remember when I was a kid, Petya would always say to my mom and dad, just leave him alone, let him be. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in him and everything he's done and said. And I try to make him proud.
I guess that's it. Wait. I guess that's it. Thank you, everybody. It really means a lot to us to be able to share with you.
Want to say bye?
Thank you. Hey, Lindy, say bye.
Daddy? Want to say hi? Just say hi.
Oh, wait.
Take your mask off. No? Okay. All right.
We'll meet up more. And right. Love you all. Thank you. And you could unmute yourselves to say bye, whatever.
Bye. Kirachka, love you.
Thank you.
Love you. Guys,
bye, guys. Honey, say bye. We gotta go.
Everyone.
A beautiful tribute to your dad's care. And
Oh, no, it's a dog. We have a dog.
Look at Lindy. Hi, Lindy.
Come on, it's okay. It's okay. I promise you it's okay. My beautiful. Okay.
Ariel, it's
bye,
good
guys.
to see you.
Good seeing everyone. Bye.
Good to see you guys.
Goodbye.